Greetings everyone and welcome. I'm your host Captain Rye, and today's video has got me back in my favorite Tier 10 destroyer, the YueYang, here in World of Warships. As the battle gets underway here, it's Ice Islands, it's Domination Match Mode, and it is a Tier 10 maximum game. Now the matchmaker has given us a spot of good luck from the get-go, as it has decided to equally balance the number of destroyers per team to 3 versus 3. Of course, I'm in a destroyer with good guns, low detection range, and very destructive and powerful long-range torpedoes. So that's always going to be an advantage, no matter what the matchmaker wants to do with the rest of them. Now, since the battle is just getting underway, and I've spawned closest to the B cap point, I'm headed off towards the B cap point. But you'll notice down there on the minimap that I have another friendly destroyer coming along with me. That's the Kid. Now the Kid, that premium Tier 8 US destroyer, which is basically just a Tier 8 Fletcher minus 1 set of torpedoes, as well as a heel. Can be a decent destroyer. It's definitely good for backing up other destroyers and going in and gunning down and contesting, but not so good as a torpedo boat for those reasons. Now, as they push up into the B cap point, enemy Conqueror pops up briefly there. He's spotted again as he's moving behind those islands, but you'll notice that the cap has stopped counting. You also notice the enemy team has started the process of capping A. Now, because I cannot torpedo an enemy destroyer with the deep water torpedoes, I decided I'm going to move forward. I'm going to poke about a bit and see if I can flush out whichever destroyer is currently here at the B cap point with me. And I am detected, and at the same time he is detected, so that is the enemy gearing who's popped up there now. Slam on my brakes, pop the smoke screen, and I'm trying desperately now to back up reverse drop-off detection. I am no longer detected, and thanks to the Kid, this gearing is actually still being detected. So as I get shots out there, you see, set him on fire, knock some engines out. He's finally decided, now he's had enough of this, and he starts turning away with his smokescreen. But I do have to be careful because this is a gearing. It doesn't have deep water torpedoes, and there's a possibility that he might come and torpedo me. The good news here is that we have driven him out of the cap. The bad news is, if you look at the minimap situation, the enemy team has now started capping C, and they're very far along in that process, and it looks like they might actually secure it before I manage to secure the B cap point. Torpedoes going out there are from the friendly Minotaur. And the other thing to point out here on the minimap was briefly that the enemy Zhao popped up. Now that Zhao is going to be a bit of a problem for the enemy, for the friendly Minotaur there. Torpedoes coming in from across. Some of those were from the Zhao. I'm not sure if the gearing managed to get torpedoes off or not. But at this point, I've left my smoke screen. I'm going to avoid the death trap there. Set of torpedoes available, trying to torpedo down that channel in an effort to catch a cruiser or a battleship off guard while the friendly team is contesting at both A and C. Friendly Minotaur here. This is the second Minotaur I have seen do this. He is very, very exposed out here in the front. Look, he's further forward than I am. Now, as he pushes up, though, I think he's got his hydro up, and he spots the enemy gearing. So that gearing, who is in a smoke screen, is visible to me, and I'm going to go ahead and open him up. And because he's got a smoke screen, and I'm out of detection range from everybody else, I can fire at him without any issue here. So opening up on him as our Minotaur pushes in here, and I was actually expecting our Minotaur to shoot this gearing with his guns because, well, a Minotaur is excellent at destroying destroyers this way. But that's not the case. Secure my first blood here. At the same time, the enemy Zhao manages to take out that Minotaur. So 2 first bloods in this game pops up there, but the enemy is now out a destroyer. Of course, now so are we. And while we have the B cap point, the enemy team is currently in the points lead because they have 2 kills to our 1. Firing a set of torpedoes off down that channel back there. There are a bunch of ships down there. There's a couple of battleships and a couple of cruisers. Currently, I am well inside of radar range for the enemy Des Moines that is sitting back behind that island. The good news is, though, that I don't think he fully realizes that I'm actually back here at the B cap point. My team has managed to secure the C cap point, and they are starting to push the battleships and the cruisers that are back over there out of it. They're pushing them back and away, and so those ships really don't have much of an option when you consider the size of the strike force that has gone down there. However, that being said, the team that's up at A is in a similar situation to the enemy team at C. They have been pushed well out of that cap. We lost one of our destroyers. I think we lost or are about to lose a cruiser up there as well. Managed to connect a torpedo, cause flooding on that Conqueror. This is going to be very important. So you can see there he was flooding, but he's stopped the flooding. He's hit that repair key. And remember, that second set of torpedoes I fired more than 30 seconds after the first set. And it's important to remember that, because that repair key, well, damage control is going to go on cooldown on that Conqueror here pretty soon, and he's probably not going to be able to recover much health with the second torpedo hit and the second flooding now. And now that flooding is going to stick. So that's going to be a bit unfortunate for that Conqueror. In the meantime, I've got a Missouri in the background here, and I've got a Hindenburg. Fire off the Missouri, who is backing up, and it doesn't look like he wants to change directions anytime soon, so hopefully these torpedoes will hit. Given how much health he has, I really only need to hit him with like 1 or 2. Enemy Hindenburg pushing up here. Definitely don't want him to go this direction, but if you see here, he's definitely continuing his turn. As torpedoes are up, I give him a little bit more lead there. I'm not sure how he's going to straighten out there, but we'll see what I can do. In the meantime, I'm going to get myself turned around, get some distance from that Hindenburg, especially now that the cap at B is under contention. That tells me one of the remaining 2 enemy destroyers has popped up here. Torpedoes on both of those ships look pretty reasonable. I'm going to push up in the B cap point and see if I can figure out which of the 2 enemy destroyers it is that's contesting here, and it is the enemy Pan-Asian destroyer here. This is good for me. It means he can't torpedo me. So I'm going to go ahead and just open up with my guns on him because I have a rate of fire advantage, and managed to connect 2 torpedoes on the Hindenburg and 2 torpedoes, or a torpedo, on the Missouri, securing a double strike. And right after that, managed to secure the kill on the enemy destroyer. So I am now 4 for 4 kills on my team, and notice that that Conqueror was finally able to put that flooding out just 1,000 points away from death, and I really wanted to get that kill. That would have been awesome to get, but that's not going to be the case. However, I do basically get that kill there, so I'm effectively 5 for 5 as my team is able to finish that Conqueror off. Made a little bit of a mistake here as I pushed up here. Enemy Des Moines was out in the open coming around that island. Slammed on my brakes, panic dropped a smoke screen, and then I remembered it's Des Moines, he's got radar. So, got my engine boost going, changed directions quickly. And now I'm trying to open up the distance. I'm doing this for a couple of reasons. One, it's going to make the Des Moines, especially with its very slow shell velocities, harder to hit me. As you can see here, he's having a hard time. And it's going to let me get back behind a smoke screen, get behind some cover as that radar finally times out. Now I can turn around and go back in. Unfortunately for me, my torpedoes missed the Des Moines. Fortunately for me, however, there is an enemy degrosser battleship pushing up behind him, and I do actually manage to connect a torpedo on him. At this point, I'm sitting on 4 kills, though, and I would really like to get my Kraken unleashed. So, looking at the options here, enemy French Baguette, the Charles Martel. Low health out in the open here. I'm going to push up, try to use my smoke screen again. Unfortunately, smoke screen is wearing out. Good news is I do have it coming back available again. Trying to get these shots off. I want to set him on fire and finish him off. Shots come in there, leave him on dangerously low health, just enough for me to finish him off, securing my Kraken unleashed. Now, popping my smoke screen again as I am out exposed in the open here to the enemy ships, especially that degrosser with his secondary batteries. Really going to be a bit more of a concern than the Des Moines, because I know the Des Moines' radar is probably on cooldown. Torpedoes are almost up here as I get myself poised to launch torpedoes at the degrosser. Now, I do have to be careful. The degrosser's German battleship, he does have hydroacoustic. It's not as good as German cruiser hydro, but it's still hydro, and if he wants to turn in and start pushing towards me, it could be a problem. Don't manage to secure the kill on the Des Moines as he gets taken out by some big battleship guns there. And now I can shift my attention and focus to the enemy degrosser. The good news is everybody who's at the B cap point with me is also focusing down this guy. Set of torpedoes coming out there. Looks like this guy is definitely slammed on his brakes. Can I hit him with a torpedo? Come on. Yes, right there in the bow. Caused flooding, and you'll notice that he's on fire too. So I'm not sure if he's already used his repair key, but we will see as I manage to secure the kill through flooding. That's 6 kills, folks. Half of the enemy team meets their end at my hand. And again, technically, at least I'm considering it my kill. That Conqueror was also basically my kill as I put him down to just over 1,000 health remaining, made him an easy kill for literally anybody else on my team. At this point, the enemy team has 4 remaining ships, and my team has only lost 4 ships, but the remaining ships that the enemy has could be a bit of a problem. They still do have a sneaky destroyer down there. They have a Zhao, they have one of the new French battleships, and they have a Yamato, and of course we know the mighty Yamato is mighty. But the Zhao does meet his end, and that just leaves 2 battleships and a destroyer. Now the destroyer himself, given his last reported position, is in a reasonable position to potentially torpedo the friendly battleships chasing the Yamato. Our French battleship here does have to be careful with that Yamato because he's reasonably low health as well, and of course Yamato's big guns probably can and will penetrate. How lewd. In the meantime, while I could be closing the distance on that Yamato or that other battleship, I've decided I'm going to push up to the A cap point. I'm not going to let the enemy team continue to gain points. Plus, for my purposes at this point, given the fact that we have 900 points, any enemy ships lost at this point pretty much just cement our victory quicker. And I would really, really like to get up and get more capping XP. Still though, Yamato is sailing towards me, and he's just about inside my torpedo range, so I get torpedoes off anyway, assuming he manages to kill one of our friendly ships, and he might very well do it. It is a Yamato after all. If he does that, he could have kept us in the game a little bit longer, but no, they managed to kill him, taking him out, and we hit 1,000 points for victory, just leaving one poor lonely destroyer all by his lonesome. 146,000 damage done in that battle, 6 kills, a double strike, almost a triple strike there. I'm going to call it a triple strike. Kraken unleashed and first blood. 7 floodings, 7 torpedo hits. RNGesus be praised. Of course, with a result like that, you'd expect to see it top of the team for XP earned at 2,400 base XP. Quite a substantial amount, but take a look at the situation on the enemy team. That French battleship, 1,500 base XP on a loss, putting him at 4th place overall for XP earned in this game. Anyway, that's it for today's video, folks. If you like the video, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. If you'd like to get semi-regular channel news and updates, you can do so by liking and following me on Facebook. If you'd like to help support me and the channel, please do so by becoming my supporter on Patreon. If you've got a replay like this one that you'd like to see featured on my channel, or just like to have me take a look at, you can send it to my email. And if you'd like to watch me play various games live on Twitch, you can do so by following me on Twitch. You can find the links for all of those in the video description down below. And as always, I'll see you next time. This is Captain Rye, signing off.